Mike not only celebrates success, but he forgives failure.
He gets his energy from being around people.
He's one of the most trustworthy people that I know.
Mike Fiterman grew up in the Robbinsdale neighborhood of the Twin Cities with his mom and dad and two sisters.
It was a wonderful childhood. I always would explain it as I didn't have everything I wanted, but I had everything I needed.
Everybody in the house worked for the family business. Mike began working at the age of 13. The business originally began as Liberty Carton and was founded by Mike's grandfather in 1918. And in the early days, they recycled burlap bags. It became Liberty Diversified in 1972 and now manufactures and markets recycled paper, plastic, and corrugated shipping and office products. Mike says he learned a lot about the family business, but it was not just from being in the office.
The biggest education I got was at the dinner table because remember, both my parents worked in the business, so there was a lot of business conversation with my dad or whatever. So it was, I guess, a love at a very early age, and I wanted to continue that legacy.
Mike graduated from the University of Minnesota with a business degree, and then when Mike was 28, his dad suffered a heart attack and had to step down. So Mike took over and has since built it into one of the largest privately held companies in Minnesota with over 1,500 employees.
All of a sudden, at a very young age, I was in charge. And when you talk about who did I learn from, I would have to say everyone.
He would go into meetings and instead of having the answers, knew he had to ask the questions and pressed questions so that Mike would learn what he needed to know to run the business.
Because that's when the true lesson started, that it wasn't about one individual and it wasn't just about me as maybe the new leader or even about what my dad had done, but more so the support and the knowledge and the commitment and passion that all the people in our organization had.
It's not just continuing the company for the benefit of the family. It's how do I continue the company for the benefit of all the employees that are part of this organization?
He gives and gives and gives, and he cares about his employees, he cares about his family, he cares about the community, and you can see it in his actions every day.
My life would not be as enriched if I hadn't given back, and so I do it as often as I can.
He wants to make sure that whatever he is doing is going to have a positive effect.
I think it was Emerson who said, "What you do speaks so loudly, I can't hear what you're saying." And Mike speaks to all of us through his actions.
He wants to make sure that it's not just, here's the money, go do what you want. It's, here's the money, now what are we going to do to make things better?
Life is not a solo sport, and business certainly is not a solo sport. We have partnerships, we have people we work with, we have organizations around the community we work with. If we're going to work together, we have to have trust, we have to have those ethics, we have to commit to doing the best job possible, and we need to care about someone else besides ourselves. And when we do all those things, then everything is possible.
One of Mike's greatest business accomplishments was building a recycled paper mill in Becker, Minnesota.
That was a major project. It was a project that was, at that point, the biggest thing that the company had ever done. The paper mill project was successful, probably keeping over 200,000 tons of paper out of landfill.
There's a biblical phrase in Micah in the Old Testament that says, Yahweh asked this and only this, that we act justly, love tenderly, and walk humbly with our God. And that is Mike.
I would like to be viewed within my legacy as a person that cared deeply about others, that wasn't afraid to step forward and take responsibility, and wasn't afraid to step forward and take risk, and knew full well that if I surrounded myself with great people with the same passion that I had, that we could accomplish great things, not only for our business, but really for the world